We've received some information through Crime Stoppers.
A breakthrough in the 13-year search for Bill Roach.
This is the reference sample that we obtained from the biological mum of the missing person, so if you can compare it to what we've got there.
Only DNA tests will confirm if the lead is genuine.
Just calling you about the William Roach case and the mitochondrial DNA testing.
And the search begins in Outback, Queensland.
All right, just start moving forward slowly.
Paul Laber is as tough as nails, but has he got what it takes to survive out here?
He's actually walked out. We found footprints.
And whatever happened to 13-year-old Lisa Peters?
All young people. Stubborn, very stubborn.
Her uncle and aunt still can't believe she's disappeared.
Yeah, I just wanted to come home. Where she belongs.
Good morning, everyone. It is a busy day today.
If today's muster's any indication, it's going to be flat out this week for officers of the Missing Persons Unit.
Leah, you have a 13-year-old female reported to Lismore Police.
Constable Leah Wilson gets the case of missing schoolgirl Lisa Peters. Her mum moved to Darwin, but Lisa didn't want to leave her mates in Lismore, so she moved in with her aunt and uncle. A day later, the 13-year-old vanished.
No one has seen her since, and her aunt and uncle are really worried about her. Thank you.
And for Sergeant Mark Samways, there's finally a breakthrough in his long-term search for Bill Roach, missing for 13 years.
How'd you go the other day in Melbourne?
Since the case of Bill Roach was featured in the first series of the TV show, we've received some information through Crime Stoppers.
But before Mark begins his new search, blood samples taken from Bill's farmhouse months ago must first be matched against his mum's DNA.
If it indicates that it is Bill Roach's blood, there's a good possibility that he has met with foul play.
But if it's not his blood, it'll add weight to the new reports that Bill was spotted alive just days ago.
We'll do our best and we won't give up until we resolve it one way or the other.
In the case of missing schoolgirl Lisa Peters,
I have been liaising with Lismore Police and I just...
Constable Leah Wilson is calling Lisa's uncle Andrew, who saw his runaway niece outside a house in Lismore only 3 days ago.
And how did she seem to you when you spoke to her?
She was pretty quiet, but she was talking to us.
Because she didn't want to move to Darwin with her family, Lisa's parents agreed she could stay with her uncle. But after just 1 day, she took off.
Is there anything that may have happened? Were her relations with her family quite good, or...?
Yeah, everything's good. I think the main thing is she likes taking off and hanging with her little friend and just getting into trouble, stealing stuff, taking drugs and everything like that.
Okay.
That's the main reason why she keeps running off.
Lisa's only 13, a runaway and already mixing in the drug scene.
Bye-bye. I'm going to go and see Lisa's auntie tonight, get some more details and take it from there. It's going to be a matter of knocking on some doors and trying to locate who her friends are.
On the other side of the office, Mark Samways is busy investigating a fresh lead in the case of missing Armidale man Bill Roach.
Just when you think you're going down one path, there's a twist and a turn. And to be honest, at the moment, I really don't have a feeling of what's happened to Bill Roach.
In the last series, we covered the case of Bill Roach, who disappeared from country New South Wales in 1993.
It's 11, 12 years now, and it's just never gets any easier, let me tell you.
One last search of Bill's farm by police revealed bloodstains in his house. This was their best chance to work out what happened to him until Mark Samways received more bad news.
We realised that Billy Roach is actually an adopted son of Yvonne.
So before he could test the blood found at Bill's farm, Mark first had to find Bill's biological mum.
Hello, Margaret. Sergeant Mark Samways from the Police Missing Persons Unit. How are you?
Margaret Wicks, Bill's birth mum, had no idea why she'd been called to police headquarters.
You had a child in 1968?
Yes,
Gave birth to a male child?
Yes.
That young man was reported missing as a missing person. No, you're right. I have as much time as you need, OK?
Margaret agreed to provide a DNA sample, but she also asked to meet Bill's adoptive mum.
Yvonne, thank you.
Well,
do the rest of this together between the two families.
Okay.
We'll follow it through.
Definitely.
Now police will use DNA to bring an end to 13 years of searching and perhaps closure for Bill's two mums.
I'm taking Dams down to Melbourne, to the Victorian Institute of Forensic Medicine, where they'll test those samples and hopefully see if it's Bill's blood contained on those samples.
Thank you.
Back in the case of missing schoolgirl Lisa Peters, Leah has arrived in Lismore in northern New South Wales to continue her investigation.
I'm very worried about Lisa. She is only 13 and right now I don't know where she spends her time at night. I believe she has no source of income. I don't know where she's taking shelter. I don't know what she's eating. I don't know if she has any money. And I'm quite concerned about the people that she might be associating with, given her age.
Before she ran off, Lisa was living with her uncle Andrew and his partner Alison.
It was just the friend she didn't want to leave.
Yeah. She just kept on taking off and wanting to be with her friends up in Gunnellabar and her boyfriend.
Now, you've spoken with her mum?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She rings
And her
every
father,
night worrying
yeah.
about her.
And how's she feeling at the moment?
She's very worried. She doesn't know what to do because the kid's that stubborn. She just won't stay anywhere.
Is the idea or the hope that if we locate Lisa, that she then go to Darwin and be with her mum and her dad?
If that's possible, yeah.
Is that
They haven't got a house of their own at the
Yeah,
moment.
they're trying to get a house.
Yeah, they've only just moved up there and they're trying to get their own place and that first.
It's a worrying time, especially for Alison, who knows what it's like to live on the streets.
I took off when I was 16 and didn't go back home and stuff. So, sort of know where she's kind of at. Yeah, kind of. So, didn't have anyone, like...
Right, sweetie. Don't get upset.
Didn't have many people to help me, sort of thing. So, I was kind of just wanting to help her a bit. And give her a bit of guidance and stuff.
She's trying to do the right thing by her, sweetie.
Yeah.
She just doesn't want our help. Doesn't want anyone's help by the seams of it.
Just stubborn.
Yeah.
Like all young people. Stubborn, very stubborn.
Mark Samways has arrived in Melbourne, carrying the bag that contains crucial blood samples that may confirm if Bill Roach is dead or alive.
Been a very long wait for Bill's two mums, Yvonne and Margaret, and I'm as keen as anyone to get some results to them.
If it is Bill's blood, it'll bring an end to the case and closure for Bill's grieving family.
I'm April. You too?
This is the reference sample that we obtained from the biological mum of the missing person, so if you can compare it to what we've got there.
Yes, okay.
April Smith will now match the samples taken from Bill's farmhouse with the DNA swab provided by his mum.
The three possible outcomes: one, that the analysis will identify the blood samples as that of William Roach. The other thing it may do is exclude William Roach. Third outcome is that the samples won't be able to be analysed because of degradation and other reasons, and that's really the worst outcome for us, and we don't want to see that happen.
But there's no guarantee the test will be conclusive. If the samples are not Bill's blood, it means it may have actually been him who was seen walking down a street in Brisbane just days ago. Back in Lismore, local police have just acted on a tip-off that's led them to repeat runaway Lisa Peters.
I'm Leah from the Missing Persons Unit. How are you going? Good, I'm Nigel. From Sydney. Hello, Lisa. How are you going? I'm Leah from the Missing Persons Unit in Sydney. We've been worried about you. Huh? A bit quiet. Can you tell me what's happened this morning?
Mate, got a job off the good sergeant to go out and find Lisa, and went to an address in Gunnellabar and found it.
Okay, then. Is it an address that's known to you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Are you happy to have a chat with me, Lisa? Don't be scared, sweetheart. You're not in any trouble, okay? You're not in any trouble at all. Do you want to tell me what's been going on? No? What's upset you, sweetheart? you want to talk to? Is there anyone we could call for you? No?
It's one of those really difficult moments.
Who have you been staying with, sweetheart?
Leah is going to need all her skills to get through to young Lisa. Back at the Missing Persons Unit, while he waits for the report on the blood tests, Mark receives news of another sighting of Bill Roach from Armidale detective Greg Lamy.
Hello, Greg. I'm well, mate. Yourself?
Oh, not too bad, not too bad. Look, we've had a couple of developments in the Roach matter.
Yeah, wonderful. What are they?
We had a fella come in the other day. He just returned from an address in Brisbane. It was a weekend. He tells me that he saw Bill.
This time, an old university friend has spotted Bill.
So someone who actually, knows him well?
Oh, knows him very, very well.
Excellent.
He's telling me that there's no doubt in his mind that it was Bill Roach. I guess that coincides a bit with an anonymous Crime Stoppers report we got through the week before, saying that also seen Bill Roach, or who they believe to be Bill, in the Wynnum area at Brisbane.
Excellent.
First, the Crime Stoppers report, and now a second sighting. 2 sightings in 2 Brisbane neighbourhoods.
I certainly intend to go up there and have a bit of a look around.
Do you want a hand from our unit?
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
This lead in Brisbane is going to be checked out to the best of our ability because we really have to confirm whether Bill is perhaps living in Brisbane or not.
Back in Lismore, 13-year-old Lisa finally tells Leah she ran away to be with her boyfriend, Donald.
If my mum said that it's okay if I stay with Donald's mum, would I be that?
But you need to tell me why you want to stay at Donald's mum's. Why is that place so special?
Donald's mum said if I stay there, that I can go to school.
Yeah?
And they're going to move to Newcastle so I can get away from all the stuff down there.
Have you talked about this with your mum or your auntie or your uncle? No? You don't want to be in Lismore anymore because you're fighting with all your old friends, is that right?
All the kids I went to the school, they don't like me anymore.
When you say they don't like you, what do they do?
They write stuff about me.
Where do they write stuff about you?
Up at Coles in Malabar and over at the soccer club.
On the walls and graffiti and things?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's why you don't want to live in Lismore anymore.
So, armed with a little more information, Leah and Senior Constable Peter Ellis go to the Department of Community Services, who'll decide where 13-year-old Lisa should live.
She started to open up a little bit, so hopefully now when we go down to docks, we can make some kind of other plans or arrangements for her.
In Melbourne, at the Victorian Institute of Forensic Medicine, DNA specialist April Smith is examining samples taken from Bill Roach's farmhouse.
Well, what appear to be blood stains on the timber flooring may or may not be blood. They're brown staining on the floorboards, and we're just going to test that to see if we can get a result, a human DNA result.
And just a short time later, April gets a result that's not what anyone expects.
I'm sure Mark Samways isn't going to be too happy, but I'll give him a call and let him know the result.
In Outback, Queensland, in the ongoing case of Paul Larber, it's 5 a.m. and very hot. The temperature already in the 30s. Jim Ryan and Tony McDowell are about to lead a team into the desert to search an area where Paul's tracks were last seen. Last week, Detective Sergeant Jim Ryan from Queensland's Missing Persons Unit flew 1,500 kilometres into the Outback to start a new search for 76-year-old opal miner Paul Larber.
Searches were conducted. They were conducted on trail bike, horseback and on foot, but nothing was located.
A year ago, Case Officer Sergeant Tony McDowell from Winton Police found Paul's ute broken down here on this bush track. 14 kilometres away, Tony found the ute's radiator hanging in a tree.
Where the radiator was found was often this direction, probably about 14, 15 k's.
It's now just after sunrise, and the SES volunteers are moving into the desert to look for Paul Laba. In a few weeks, it'll be too hot to work out here. So this really is the last throw of the dice, their final chance to find out what happened to the missing opal miner.
Missing Persons Unit, Mark Samways.
Hi Mark, it's April here.
Back at Sydney's Missing Persons Unit, Mark Samways gets the call he's been waiting
Just
for.
calling you about the William Roach case.
The mitochondrial DNA testing, the 2 pieces of timber flooring, the swab from the concrete and the swab from the carpet underlay.
If the test reveals it's Bill's blood, then it will confirm police suspicion that Bill has been murdered.
Well, unfortunately, we were not able to get a result from any of the items.
So there's nothing there to indicate that it could be our man's blood?
Unfortunately, there's not, no.
Takes us back to square one in relation to the possible homicide inquiry, but in some regards it's good because there's still hope that Bill may be walking around somewhere.
And that hope lies here in Brisbane's Fortitude Valley, where it was reported Bill was last seen. With dozens of surveillance cameras in the area, if Bill was here, he's sure to have been recorded. Meanwhile, back in Lismore...
We've left Lisa at the police station and we're going to try and sort out some kind of plan or resolution because hopefully we don't want Lisa to continue running away.
With Lisa's mum in Darwin, and because she says she doesn't want to live in Lismore, her future will be decided by the Department of Community Services.
Lisa's expressed the desire to get away from Lismore, which is a good step. She states she wants to go to school.
Yeah, I keep saying it's not good down here for her.
Yeah, no, that's all right. I'll fly to Sydney with her, all right, and then she'll fly to Bathurst from there.
So for police, their next step is to clear the move with Lisa's nana, Mari, who everyone hopes will get the teenager back on track.
At this point, we just want to get her somewhere where she's happy and she's safe, and then they can revisit the idea at a later stage of her moving to Darwin when her parents have found a house.
You hear me over there? Far end? All right, just start moving forward slowly.
In Outback Queensland, the team of volunteers has begun its search for missing opal miner Paul Laba. The volunteers picked their way through the gullies near where police found Paul's radiator from his broken-down car.
We're looking for anything that doesn't fit into the natural habitat surroundings.
The temperature is now nudging 48 and only getting hotter. As they focus on every metre of terrain looking for clues, the heat begins to take its toll.
Falling a fair bit behind over on the right-hand side there.
All right.
Finally, after 4 hours and 10 kilometres of hard slog, the volunteers have covered the entire search area. But they've found nothing. Meanwhile, back at Lismore Police Station...
Hello? Mari, how you going? Peter Ellis from Lismore
Case
Police.
Officer Peter Ellis is still trying to find a home for 13-year-old Lisa Peters with her nan, Mari, in Bathurst.
Mate, we found her up here in Lismore, and we just need to know if you'd take her in down there at Bathurst this afternoon.
If she behaves herself, if she runs away on me, she's gone, OK?
Yeah, no, that's fair enough, mate. We've had a bit of a yarn to her and we've sort of knocked that on the head. We've been down and spoken to Docs and we're going to organise some flights for her to turn up at Bathurst there at about 5 to 8 this evening.
Yep.
Now Peter has one last job, to tell Lisa she's off to Bathurst.
She'll be fine. This is the way you approach things. It's the only way she can possibly go and make a good go of it, rather than sort of being on the street and just, yeah, living rough, so to speak.
In the Queensland Outback, the mystery of Paul Laba's disappearance just took another twist.
Yeah, out near Paul Laba's camp.
Just when they thought the search was over, the desert reveals another secret.
Where exactly did you find these, Shane? Yeah, no, that'll be fine. No, bring 'em
A
in.
road crew has found a case for a pair of glasses right where Paul went missing.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks, Sean. I'm going to go out and have a look at the scene, have a look at the glasses case where we found them. It's in an area about half a k from the entrance to Paul Larber's camp. It's in an area that we haven't previously searched, so we'll go see what he has found and see whether it's worthwhile us doing a further search of that area.
In Lismore, it's time to tell Lisa Peters that she's going to be living with her nan, Mari.
Mate, as you know, we've been down to the Docs office, spoken to Docs. Mate, we've organised for you to go down to your grandmother's place down in Bathurst. And then you can get back into school and stuff like that down there, OK? Now, what happens is you're going to go fly down to Sydney probably about 3 o'clock with the good constable here, and then you'll wait with her until you get a connecting flight down to Bathurst where Mari and the rest of the family's going to meet you down there. OK?
I don't want to leave yet.
Sorry, doll?
I don't want to leave yet.
Lisa, unfortunately you can't keep running away and we're really worried about you. You said you hadn't been eating properly. All right, you don't have any of your things and you're 13, doll. You said you wanted to go to school. You said you didn't want to be in Lismore anymore because it was too hard for you. And we're trying to give you all those things. Staying here, you're not going to get that. And we want to get you back in school where there's people that don't pick on you.
Leah's been in this situation so many times before, remaining sympathetic while explaining a tough decision that's in Lisa's best interests is never easy.
I've just told Lisa that she's going to be going to Bathurst to the grandparents. Now she's changed her mind from this morning, stating that she wanted to leave Lismore and stating that she wants to stay here. However, we can't allow Lisa to live with her friends. She's obviously going to continue to run away from Andrew and Alison.
She may only be 13, but if Lisa doesn't want to stay in Bathurst, she'll only run off again. So Leah still has a lot of work to do. But will Lisa listen? At police headquarters in Brisbane, Mark has met up with Greg Lamey, the Armidale detective who's been looking for Bill Roach for 13 years. They're here to meet with Jim Ryan. He's just returned from looking for Paul Larber in Outback, Queensland, to help Mark and Greg with their search for Bill.
Go up to the office of the powwow and see how we're going to plan today.
These three men have been looking for Bill Roach for over a decade, and they've never had leads as positive as these sightings. In Outback, Queensland, Tony and the team have now reached the spot where Paul Larber's spectacle case was found.
It's got Paul's name engraved in the back here. It's definitely his glasses case. All these creek lines here flow down to where the glasses case were found, so we'll just see if there's any other evidence that may be laying around half buried.
But it won't be easy, because this is channel country and rains may have washed away any clues.
All right, well, we've covered that whole area, which flows down to this gully here, which pretty much covers everything that we can do for that side of things. Didn't find anything, but at least we've eliminated this area as a part of our inquiries.
After yet another search, Tony and his team are tired and frustrated and still no closer to working out what happened.
In my report to the coroner, I'll be recommending my belief that Paul has passed away out here somewhere. But he's a fairly tough old bugger. He's lived out here for a long time, so you just really don't know. He could be out there somewhere.
Back at the Queensland Missing Persons Unit, getting a look at any surveillance footage that may locate Bill in Brisbane is their next crucial step.
We've been on to the CCTV people. They need a police officer to sit with them and go through the footage and identify who the person is.
I suppose the
most important thing for us is this guy knew him intimately. And so it's not like someone out of the blue that's seen Bill's photo on TV. So this guy actually associated with him at the time he went missing. So for him to be adamant that it was Bill, there's got to be some credence to it.
So they're anxious to meet their eyewitness, Bill's old friend, Bly Grant.
I think if we go down to the valley first, meet with Bly and have a look at the tape.
If Bly has seen his mate Bill, there's every chance he's been captured by one of the dozens of surveillance cameras in the area.
This is probably the first possible evidence of life we've had for, what, 12, 13 years.
After 13 years of searching, have they finally found their man? After an emotional start, the journey continues for 13-year-old Lisa Peters. And for Dubbo detectives,
found numerous other human bones.
The contents of this brown paper bag might finally solve a 12-month mystery.